Lesson 1: The changing nature of sports.
Hey Anna, can I get your thoughts on something related to sports? I'm a bit conflicted about a particular issue.
Absolutely, John. What's on your mind when it comes to the world of sports?
Well, you know how the whole concept of amateurism used to be a core tenet of competitive sports, right?
Yes, I'm familiar with that. It was seen as a way to maintain the purity and integrity of athletic competition.
Exactly. But it seems like that philosophy has really shifted over time, don't you think?
You're right. The line between amateur and professional has become increasingly blurred, especially at the highest levels of sport.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be scandalous if an athlete was caught accepting any kind of payment or endorsement deal.
Absolutely. It was viewed as a betrayal of the amateur spirit. But now, even Olympic athletes are openly professionals.
Precisely. And it makes me wonder if that shift has kind of contradicted the underlying philosophy of sport.
That's an interesting point. You think the commercialization of sports has eroded some of the purity and ideals that used to define it?
In a way, yes. I mean, the whole concept of amateurism was about maintaining a level playing field, right?
Right, it was meant to ensure that athletic success was based solely on skill and dedication, not financial resources.
Exactly. But now, you have these mega wealthy athletes and teams that can essentially buy their way to victory.
I see what you're getting at. The rise of professionalism has introduced a lot more inequality into the equation.
Precisely. It feels like the ethos of sports has shifted from being about the pure pursuit of excellence to being more about money and spectacle.
That's a really thoughtful observation, John. It does seem to contradict some of the core values that sports were originally built upon.
Yeah, it's a complex issue. I'm curious to hear your take. Do you think the evolution of sports has been positive or negative overall?
That's a great question. I think there are merits to both the amateur and professional models. But it's definitely worth examining how the changes have impacted the underlying spirit of competition.
Totally agree. It's a nuanced topic, for sure. Anyway, thanks for chatting this through with me, Anna. It's helpful to get your perspective.
Of course, John. I'm always happy to explore these kinds of thought-provoking discussions around sports and society. Lots to unpack there.
Absolutely. Alright, I should get going, but this was great. Catch you later.
Lesson 2: Facing challenges with confidence.
Hey Anna, can I bounce something off you? I'm feeling a bit stressed about an upcoming challenge.
Sure, John. What's going on? I'm happy to lend an ear and see if I can offer any advice.
Well, there's this big project at work that I've been tasked with leading, and to be honest, I'm feeling a bit out of my depth.
I see. What is it about this project that has you feeling stressed?
I guess it's just the scale and complexity of it. It's really pushing the boundaries of my experience and expertise.
I understand. Tackling a significant challenge can definitely be daunting. But that's also an opportunity for growth.
That's a good point. I suppose I could look at it that way. It's just hard not to focus on all the ways I might fail?
I hear you. It's easy to get caught up in worst-case scenarios. But try to reframe it as a chance to prove what you're capable of.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. How do you suggest I approach this in a more positive way?
Well, first of all, don't be too hard on yourself. Acknowledge that it's a big undertaking, but also recognize your strengths and qualifications.
Right, okay. I should focus on my strengths rather than dwelling on my weaknesses.
Exactly. And break the project down into smaller, more manageable steps. Tackle it piece by piece rather than getting overwhelmed by the whole.
That makes sense. Chunk it down into bite-sized tasks. I can definitely do that.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask for help or guidance from your team or mentors. Lean on your support system.
Good call. I have a lot of talented people around me that I can leverage. I shouldn't try to do this all on my own.
Precisely. And finally, try to maintain a positive, confident mindset. Visualize yourself succeeding, not failing.
That's an interesting technique. Visualizing the positive outcome rather than the negative one.
Yes, it can be really powerful. It helps program your subconscious to believe in your ability to overcome the challenge.
I like that. Okay, you've given me a lot of great advice here, Anna. I feel a lot more equipped to tackle this now.
I'm so glad I could help provide a fresh perspective, John. Remember, you've got this. Stay focused and trust in yourself.
Will do. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk this through with me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, John. I'm always happy to lend a supportive ear and share strategies for navigating life's challenges.
Awesome. Alright, I should get going, but this was super helpful. Catch you later.
Lesson 3: The Fitness Routine Debate.
Hey Anna, can I get your input on something related to fitness? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely, John. What's on your mind when it comes to fitness?
Well, I've been trying to nail down the perfect workout routine. I'm torn between focusing more on cardio or strength training.
I see. That's an interesting dilemma. What have you been doing so far in your fitness regimen?
Right now, I'm aiming for about 30 minutes of cardio and 15 minutes of stretching per day.
That's a good balance. But what about strength training? Do you feel like you're neglecting that aspect?
That's the thing, I've been kind of skimping on the strength training. I guess I'm just more drawn to the cardio.
I can understand the appeal of cardio, but it's important not to overlook the benefits of strength training as well.
You make a good point. What do you think the ideal balance should be between the two?
Well, it really depends on your specific fitness goals. But generally, I'd recommend aiming for a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio of strength training to cardio.
Huh, okay. That's interesting. I hadn't considered a split like that. Can you elaborate a bit more?
Sure. The reason I suggest focusing a bit more on strength training is that it helps build and maintain muscle mass, which is so important for overall health and fitness.
Ah, I see. So the strength training would complement the cardio in terms of getting a well-rounded workout.
Exactly. The cardio is great for cardiovascular health and calorie burning, but the strength training helps support that by increasing your muscle tone and metabolism.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess I've been kind of neglecting that muscle building aspect in my routine.
It's a common mistake, but it's important to find that balance. Maybe try starting with 20 to 25 minutes of cardio and 10 to 15 minutes of strength training.
Okay, I can definitely work on adjusting my routine like that. Thanks for the helpful advice, Anna.
Of course, John. Fitness is all about finding what works best for your individual needs and goals. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Will do. Appreciate you taking the time to walk me through this. It's given me a lot to think about.
Anytime. Wishing you the best of luck with your fitness journey. Stay consistent and trust the process.
Thanks, I will. Catch you later, Anna.
Lesson 4: Navigating transportation options.
Morning, Anna. Hey, I wanted to ask you about something related to transportation, if you don't mind.
Hey there. Not at all, I'm happy to chat about transportation. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been trying to figure out the best way to get around the city these days, and I'm a bit torn between a few different options.
Okay, I see. What are you considering as potential modes of transportation?
I'm mainly trying to decide between taking the bus, riding my bike, or using a rideshare service like Uber or Lyft.
Ah, I see. Those are all valid options, each with their own pros and cons. What factors are you weighing in your decision?
I guess the main things I'm trying to balance are convenience, cost, and environmental impact.
That's a great approach. Those are all really important considerations when choosing how to get around.
Exactly. I mean, the bus is probably the most eco-friendly option, but it can be less convenient, you know?
Definitely. The bus routes and schedules don't always align perfectly with our needs. What about biking?
That's a good point. Biking could be a nice middle ground, good for the environment and gives me some flexibility.
Right, and it's also a great way to get some exercise as part of your commute. Have you factored in things like weather and distance?
That's a good question. The weather is definitely a consideration, and the distance to my destination can vary quite a bit.
Okay, so that's where the rideshare options like Uber or Lyft might come in handy, especially for longer trips or bad weather.
Yeah, that's a good call. They're probably the most convenient, but definitely more costly than the bus or biking.
Exactly. It's all about weighing the trade-offs and figuring out what's the best fit for your specific needs and budget.
Absolutely. You've given me a lot to think about. I really appreciate you taking the time to walk through this with me.
Happy to help, John. Transportation can be a tricky thing to navigate, but I'm sure you'll find the right solution for you.
Thanks, I'll definitely keep your advice in mind as I make my decision. Alright, I should get going, but this was great.
Sounds good. Let me know if you have any other transportation questions come up. Take care.
Will do. Thanks again, Anna. Catch you later.
Lesson 5, Networking Strategies.
Hey Anna, can I pick your brain about networking? I just got back from a big industry event.
Absolutely, John. I'm happy to discuss networking. How did the event go for you?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I made some great connections that I'm hoping will lead to some new business opportunities.
That's wonderful to hear. Networking can be such a valuable tool. Did you have a specific strategy going into the event?
You know, I did try to be a bit more intentional this time. I made sure to introduce myself to people, ask questions, and really try to make meaningful connections.
Excellent, that's exactly the right approach. Networking is all about quality over quantity when it comes to the connections you make.
Definitely. I didn't just try to collect as many business cards as possible. I focused on having genuine conversations.
That's so important. And did you find any particular techniques helpful in facilitating those meaningful exchanges?
Well, I made a point to really listen to what people were saying, ask follow up questions, and try to find common ground.
That's a great strategy. Actively listening and finding ways to relate on a personal level can go a long way.
Absolutely. I also tried to position myself as more of a resource rather than just someone looking to make a sale, you know?
That's an insightful approach. Positioning yourself as a collaborative partner rather than a pure transactional player.
Exactly. I wanted to show that I was genuinely interested in helping, not just promoting myself.
That's wonderful, John. It sounds like you really nailed the art of effective networking at this event.
I sure hope so. I'm feeling pretty good about the connections I made and the potential they hold.
That's fantastic. Maintaining and nurturing those new relationships will be key moving forward.
Definitely. I plan to follow up with everyone and see how I can continue to provide value.
Excellent, that consistency and follow through will be so important. Well done navigating the networking process.
Thanks, Anna. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat about this. It's helpful to get your insights.
Of course, John. Networking is such a crucial skill, and it's great to see you approach it so thoughtfully. Keep up the great work.
Will do. Alright, I should get going, but this was really valuable. Catch you later.
Lesson 6, The Allure of Bali.
Hey Anna, I've always wanted to visit Bali. What do you know about the attractions there?
Oh, Bali is such a stunning and culturally rich destination. There's so much to see and do.
Really? What are some of the top attractions that stand out to you?
Well, the beautiful Hindu temples are a big draw, like the famous Tana Lot and Uluwatu temples.
Ah, yes, I've seen photos of those and they look absolutely breathtaking.
Definitely. And the natural landscapes are just incredible, the lush, terraced rice fields, stunning beaches, and majestic volcanoes.
Wow, that sounds like my kind of place. I love being immersed in beautiful natural environments.
Me too. And the cultural experiences are really unique. You can visit traditional villages, watch vibrant dance performances, and learn about the local arts and crafts.
That's awesome. I'd love to get a deeper understanding of the Balinese culture and way of life.
Absolutely. And the food is out of this world, so fresh, flavorful, and unique to the region.
You're really selling me on Bali, Anna. I feel like I need to start planning a trip there soon.
You definitely should. It's such a special place. The combination of natural beauty, rich culture, and warm hospitality is really unparalleled.
Alright, you've convinced me. Bali is going on my travel bucket list. Thanks for the awesome overview.
My pleasure, John. I'm sure you'll have an amazing time if you get the chance to visit. Let me know if you need any other Bali tips.
Will do. Appreciate it. Catch you later.
Lesson 7, Booking the Perfect Hotel Room.
Hey Anna, I'm trying to book a hotel for an upcoming trip and could use your input. What do you think are some key things to consider?
Ooh, booking a hotel can definitely be an important part of trip planning. What kind of trip is this for, business or pleasure?
It's actually a bit of both, a work conference, but I'm hoping to extend my stay and do some sightseeing as well.
Okay, that makes sense. In that case, I'd suggest looking for a hotel that can accommodate both your professional and personal needs.
Good point. Any specific recommendations on what to focus on?
Well, for starters, I'd look into the room options. See if you can find one on a higher floor, as those tend to be quieter.
Ah, yes, that's a great tip. I'll be sure to check on room availability for the higher floors.
And if possible, try to get a room with a nice view, even if it costs a bit more. It can really enhance your overall experience.
Ooh, that sounds lovely. A room with a great view would be really nice, especially for the leisure part of the trip.
Definitely. And don't forget to look into the hotel's amenities and services, like the fitness center, pool, or business center.
Good call. Those kinds of on-site facilities could be super helpful, especially if I want to sneak in a workout during my downtime.
Exactly. And if you'll be doing any work in the hotel, make sure the room has a comfortable workspace setup.
Right, that's a really important consideration. I'll need to make sure I have a solid spot to get some work done.
Absolutely. And of course, the location of the hotel in relation to the conference venue and any sightseeing spots you want to hit.
Excellent point. I'll need to map that all out to find the most convenient central location.
Sounds like you're on the right track, John. Just let me know if you need any other hotel booking tips as you narrow down your options.
Will do, thanks so much, Anna. This has been really helpful. You've given me a lot of great things to keep in mind.
Happy to help. Wishing you the best of luck with finding the perfect hotel for your upcoming trip.
Appreciate it. Alright, I should get going, but I'll be sure to run any final choices by you.
Lesson 8, Overcoming Vices.
Hey Anna, I've been wanting to talk to you about something important: overcoming some personal vices.
I see. That's a sensitive but important topic, John. I'm happy to have an open discussion about it with you.
Well, I've been struggling with a few unhealthy habits that I really want to break free from, you know?
I understand. It can be a difficult journey, but I commend you for taking that first step and wanting to make a change.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. I feel like these vices have kind of become barriers in my life.
I see. Can you tell me a bit more about the specific vices you're hoping to overcome?
Well, I'd rather not get into the specifics here, if that's alright. But they're definitely impacting my health and well being.
Of course, I completely understand. The important thing is that you recognize the need for change.
Exactly. And I know it won't be a quick or easy process, but I'm determined to break these habits.
That's a very admirable attitude, John. Having that determination and willpower is crucial.
Thanks, Anna. I guess I'm just looking for any advice or strategies you might have for overcoming these kinds of vices.
Well, the first step is often acknowledging the issue and committing to making a change. From there, it's about finding healthy alternatives and coping mechanisms.
That makes a lot of sense. Replacing the unhealthy habits with more positive ones.
Precisely. And it's important to be patient and kind with yourself throughout the process. Overcoming vices isn't easy.
I appreciate that perspective. It's easy to be too hard on myself, but I know I need to stay positive.
Absolutely. Celebrate the small wins along the way, and don't beat yourself up if you slip up occasionally.
Got it. I'll keep that in mind. This has all been really helpful, Anna. I feel a bit more equipped to tackle this.
I'm so glad I could provide some useful guidance, John. Remember, you've got this. I'm here if you need any further support.
Thank you, that means a lot. Alright, I should get going, but I really appreciate you taking the time to chat about this.
Of course, anytime. Wishing you all the best in your journey of overcoming these vices. You've got this.
Thanks, Anna. I'll be sure to keep you posted on my progress. Catch you later.
Lesson 9, Comfortable with Public Speaking.
Hey Anna, I wanted to ask you about something. I noticed you've been giving a lot of speeches lately.
You're right, I have been doing quite a few public speaking engagements recently.
That's impressive. I know a lot of people find public speaking to be really daunting.
You're absolutely right. It used to be a major source of anxiety for me as well.
Oh, really? I would never have guessed that. You seem so poised and comfortable up there.
Well, it's something I've really worked on over the years. It doesn't come naturally to me.
That's good to know. It's encouraging to hear that even someone as confident as you had to work at it.
Definitely. I used to get so nervous before having to speak in front of a crowd.
I can imagine. What did you do to overcome that fear and build up your confidence?
It was a gradual process, but I think the key was just putting myself out there more often.
That makes sense. Practice makes perfect, as they say.
Exactly. The more I did it, the more comfortable I became. Now I actually enjoy public speaking.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm really impressed by your transformation.
Thank you, John. It hasn't been easy, but it's been a valuable skill to develop.
I can see why. Being able to speak confidently in front of others is such an asset.
Absolutely. It's opened up so many opportunities for me.
I bet. Well, I'm glad you found a way to embrace it. Maybe you can give me some tips sometime.
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to share what I've learned. Just let me know.
Great, I'll take you up on that. This has been really insightful, Anna.
I'm glad you found it helpful. Public speaking is a skill anyone can cultivate.
That's good to know. I look forward to putting some of your techniques into practice.
Wonderful. I'm sure you'll do great, John. Just remember to relax and have fun with it.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks again for the encouragement and advice.
Lesson 10, Decorating Decisions.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your opinion on something related to my home decor.
Excellent, I'd be happy to offer my thoughts. What kind of decorating dilemma are you facing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the best way to arrange the furniture in my living room.
Ah, I see. That can definitely be a tricky decision. What are you considering?
I'm torn between going for a symmetrical pattern or a more eclectic arrangement.
That's a good question. It really depends on the overall style you're going for.
That's a good point. I'm kind of leaning towards a more modern, minimalist look.
Okay, in that case, a symmetrical layout could work really nicely to achieve that aesthetic.
You think so? I was worried it might come across as too formal or rigid.
Not necessarily. With the right pieces, you can make a symmetrical design feel very sleek and contemporary.
Interesting. Can you give me an example of how that might look?
Sure, picture a sofa centered against the wall, with matching armchairs flanking it on either side.
Ah, yes, I can visualize that. And then maybe a coffee table and side tables to complete the symmetry.
Exactly. And you could add some sculptural or geometric accents to really enhance the modern vibe.
I like that idea a lot. It sounds like it would create a really clean, cohesive look.
Definitely. But of course, the eclectic approach has its own charm as well.
That's true. I do love the idea of mixing different styles and textures.
Absolutely. In that case, you could play around with asymmetrical placement and varying furniture shapes.
That's an interesting alternative. I'll have to weigh the pros and cons of each approach.
Take your time with it. There's no one right answer, it's all about finding what speaks to you.
You're right, it's really about trusting my own design instincts. This has been super helpful, Anna.
I'm so glad I could provide a useful perspective. Let me know whichever direction you decide to go.
Will do. I appreciate you taking the time to talk through this with me. It's given me a lot to think about.
Please subscribe, like, and share our channel. Your support helps us create more great content. Thank you.